Face reality, people. Movies are dead. Games are dead. Narrative? Dead.
Media is nothing but neural trigger response and viral conditioning.
Wait, what are you two talking about?
All right, just watched a movie called Minari. It was a former Oscar-nominated film. I was curious, so I checked it out, and it's all right. It's okay. They're doing a good job with the kind of heartwarming family story thing, and I'm like, okay, this is like a sweet movie, and I was like, I'll give it like, you know, a 7.6 or a 7.7, probably like a 7.6, right? Like it's slightly above average, just a normal movie with all the feel goods and drama and conflict that happens, the family having to overcome and stay together. It's like, okay, I get that. And then grandma burned down the fucking produce in the little barn. All these crops that this dude was like painstakingly like working to grow, so that like that's like their source of income. Like he gambled, he bet on himself and said, we're gonna fucking grow these crops and then sell them so that we don't have to do fucking I guess they call it chicken sexing. Strange word, where they pick like little chicks up and see if they're male or female, and then they separate them into different bins and all that shit. This dude's like, I don't want to do this, forever. What's his name? Jacob. His name's Jacob. I don't want to do this forever, so I'm taking a gamble here. I'm gonna buy a lot of a lot of land that no one's been able to grow shit on, and I'm gonna try to put a fucking farm there, and and he actually succeeds while risking like his own like house, like he basically cut off the water to his own house to use it on these crops because they weren't really getting enough water. So he took a bunch of risks, right? They moved from California, I think, and they like, "Oh, we're going to Oklahoma. We're gonna risk it all here." I'm like, okay. And to kind of see him succeed was, I guess, what I was looking for. But it wouldn't have to be that for me to grade the movie and give it a good grade or anything like that. It's just the heartwarming thing. I'm like looking for that, right? But at some point near the end of the movie, Grandma burns down the fucking by accident. She burns down the barn. Right? She like trips and falls while she was burning garbage, and the fire went all the way to the barn thing, and the barn caught on fire, and all the produce that they collected that they were gonna sell to this guy that they just got basically employed by, or just did a partnership with him. All that shit's gone, all burnt down. I'm like, it's like, man, why do you have to force something like that? It was just an eyesore. See this old lady trip over, like knock some fire over, and then the fire just falls right to the fucking barn and burns that shit down. All to tell us that, hey, well, sticking with family, keeping the family together is more important than than Jacob's farm. I'm like, well, I could have got that in a different way. Why are we? I don't know anything. Maybe Jacob's like, right, because there's a lot of like religious people around in the territory. His friend Paul, who helped him grow that shit. His wife Monica's religious. So I'm like, okay, maybe like as he's like cursing God, maybe a lightning, like it's tacky, but like maybe like a lightning strike burns the fucking barn in. Or like in the beginning of the movie, they're like holy shit, a fucking tornado's on its way, right? They're in Oklahoma, so like, oh shit, a fucking tornado's on the way. Then they find out like, oh no, it's fine. It's just like it's like be on the watch instead of like this thing's coming to hit your fucking town right now. Maybe use the tornado idea, where like he does all this hard work and then boom, a tornado hits and fucks his whole thing up. Like that would be, I don't know, to me more compelling and more interesting and less of an eyesore than just grandma trips or something, or she knocks some fire over and it leads to a perfect trail right to the fucking barn and burns the shit down. How come the fire didn't go sideways? Why'd it go in a straight line directly to this fucking barn where all his fucking produce is? I don't know. And that's how they basically concluded the movie, right? Other than the heartwarming family stuff, the drama and the idea of him being able to actually succeed with this risky, gamble to sustain his family and make sure they're okay and they have money and all that shit. It seemed pretty important, and then they just wrote it off with the fire thing. But whatever. It is what it is. This is basically me. I'm trying to take Anthony's advice here. Like, okay, anything we watch, we should probably, unless it's like painful to do, like review. I'm gonna try to review as many things as I can when I watch them. So.
James Bond.
Yeah. Didn't even make it through that one, huh? But this should be the first of many random reviews. All right. Overall, I'm gonna give this movie. God, that fire thing really disappointed me, man. But I'll give it a 7.5 even. It's a heartwarming, like it keeps your attention, right? It keeps you paying attention to it. You care about the characters. You care about the situations they're in. So I'll give it okay, it's average. It's okay. Nothing great about it. I don't think there was any even if that fire thing wasn't in there and they did something different with their conclusion of Jacob's little drama with the farm and all that shit. Even if they did something different, I still don't think it would be spectacular. It'd have to be something crazy for me to be to bump it up a grade from the ending. It was just going on a certain pace with certain themes, and they're just going with it. I'm like, that's fine. That's more than fine. That's acceptable for a movie. That's above average. But that fire thing, man, such an eyesore. I have to take it down at least a little bit. And yeah, 7.5. Absolutely average. Would I recommend? Yeah, sure. I would recommend this. But it wouldn't be the first movie I would recommend. Let's put it that way. There's a long list of movies I'm like, yo, you gotta watch this. This one I'd be like, oh, you've seen all these fucking movies already? All right, well, here's this movie. It was Oscar nominated. Maybe you can watch it and then put your own judge on it. Like, is it that great of a movie? Is it not? Give it a shot. So there's my level of recommendation. It's not terrible at all, except for the fire thing. But it's not, overall, it's not terrible. So yeah, go check it out if you feel like. All right, there's my review of Minari.